Hello and welcome to the What's the Story podcast. I'm Jarlath Kyan.
And I'm Victoria Houston. Each week we'll be focusing on the stories that matter to you. Stories about the people and places that make Tyrone so special.
The What's the Story podcast is brought to you by the Northwest News Group, who also print our much-loved newspapers, the Ulster Herald, Strabane Chronicle and the Tyrone Herald. Enjoy the show. This week, the podcast focuses on the 30th anniversary celebrations at Drumragh Integrated College in Omagh. When it opened in 1995, Drumragh was the town's first integrated secondary school. 85 students enrolled that first year, but the college now has more than 700 pupils. It has been a long and sometimes difficult journey for those associated with the school, but they insist that all the hard work has been worth it. When it first opened, Drumragh Integrated College was based in a building at the former Tyrone and Fermanagh Hospital. The school later moved to its current building on the Crevna Road. It was there that a special event was held recently to mark Drumragh's 30th anniversary. Alan Rodgers went along to the event to speak to some people involved in the school's story. Among those he spoke to were the current principal, Imelda Kirk, two members of the school's Board of Governors, Eric Bullock and Sean McBride, and the first ever head boy at Drumragh, Brendan McCall. The first person we will hear from is Kathleen Hines, who was the principal when the school first opened all those years ago.
Kathleen, you were the first principal 30 years ago. Can you imagine how much has changed during the intervening 3 decades?
It has changed remarkably. When I came in here, I was so impressed by it because everything is just so perfectly done. And in the old days, we fought for our various people coming in and we worked for them and so on. But sometimes it didn't look as very smart and very brilliantly put together now. Mm-hmm. And it's lovely to come in here with the people who are here because almost everybody is somebody I know or taught or maybe gave a job to in the past. Mm-hmm. And that's great. It's just great.
And tell me, how did you first become involved in the integrated school? Like, I'm sure it wasn't 95, I'm sure it was maybe 85 or 90.
Oh, it's way back, but I can't remember. Uh-huh. My memory isn't as good as it used to be. But I always wanted to do something about it, and as it happened with me, I was sitting in my office in the academy. I was the vice principal then, and one morning I came in, and there in front of me on my, who put it there I do not know, I think somebody wanted rid of me because it put down the whole business about Drumragh and what was, and I thought, goodness me, somebody wants rid of me, I'll just read this and so on. And I read it and I thought, it's the very thing that I might try for. And just crossing your fingers is what you do. You don't assume that you're going to get the job. I was delighted to get it.
Yeah. And how difficult was it at that time? You know, because you had no pupils, you had no teachers, you had no building. How difficult was it to get all that sorted out?
Well, it wasn't like sort of waving the magic wand and it would all be there. It wasn't like that at all. I mean, we had few people, we got our teachers first, really, but we were out then, all of us, getting our pupils as well and going round quite a wide up all over the county, really, you know. We had, yeah.
And how did it come about then that you ended up in the TNA, the Tyrone and Fermanagh Hospital? Not that that's any, but how did that all work out?
Well, that was extraordinary. It was a wonderful old building, you know, and some of the children afterwards, so the pupils, stop calling them children. Said to me that they really preferred the old building because it had so much old character about it, you know. And they had new buildings and all the rest of it, but it was nothing like the TNF.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, can you remember the first day and the excitement and the sense of satisfaction that came with that?
mostly a sense of, is it all right?
Yes.
Is there anything wrong? Try and keep it going. So it was that sort of thing. You just had to accept that you were going for it and that it was going to be like that. But the staff were fantastic. So, if you've got a good staff and you don't have any problems with them, that makes all the difference.
And when you look around you today, I'm sure you've been in here on a number of occasions over the years, but when you look around at the great school that is there, the great building, the great staff, it must make you feel very proud. But what other emotions are there?
Oh, dear me, you're asking me for emotions.
Relief that someone else is in charge.
Yes.
Oh, satisfaction is the thing, really, isn't it? That it did happen. And we got there and we got bigger and bigger and bigger.
So, Eric Bullock. Eric, I suppose when you look around here today, having been involved in the school, not as a teacher, not obviously as a pupil, but as a member of the Board of Governors, it must instill you with great confidence for the future, but also great satisfaction with what has been achieved.
Yes, confidence and satisfaction. Satisfaction, taking something from the tiniest morsel of an embryonic start to something which is strong and confident and large. And so many students have passed through and developed. I think it's wonderful to walk in today and see Brendan, the first head boy, is now a member of the Board of Governors. And that maturity and just watching that growth is very satisfying.
Mm-hmm. And tell me a wee bit about how it started, because I'm sure it didn't start with Kathleen, as much as Kathleen was very important. But
I think it was crucial.
Yes, exactly. But how did it all start?
It started really from the primary school, where at the end of year 7, when children were choosing where to go next, having spent 4 or 5 years, in the primary school, they were then forced to head off into the traditional segregated sector. They had no choice but to do that. There wasn't anything else. So the 15 children in my P7 class went in 7 different directions, never to meet again. And I thought that was a shame. They had been close classmates, they had been good friends, and now they were being, because of the system, they were being split up. It seemed logical that the primary school should really allow people to develop to the next stage, as was beginning to happen, Alan, in other towns. A year before, Drumragh Integrated College in Enniskillen had opened, Shimna Integrated College in Newcastle had opened, and they were all progressing also from the primary schools. It was a natural development.
And over though, like a natural development.
A natural development.
But a very difficult one. Were there? Tell us a wee bit about that.
Well, of course. Starting a primary school is a huge operation. Starting a college with so many specialist subjects is in a different league completely. The size of the place, the number of staff that you need, all from day one, puts it on a different level, basically. But accommodation was the most difficult thing. And the search for accommodation around Omagh was a whole summer, that summer of 94. And initially the Tyrone man was rejected as being unsuitable. But then all the other options turned out to be even less suitable.
Tell me about some of the other options that might have been there, that might have been considered.
One of the most serious considerations was the fact that the college could have been housed inside the grounds of the primary school. We had a 4.5 acre site there, so you could easily have added another 20 mobiles. But the problem there was that the entrance to the integrated primary school was a little narrow entrance with poor sightlines, and the planners wouldn't give permission for it to grow. They would allow it to have a primary school there, but not a further 20. Mobiles would have been out of the question. So we looked at many greenfield sites, and greenfield sites would not have been ready for the 1st of September, whereas the Tyrone Fermanagh was sitting there empty, and the people of the county hall had recently moved out of it. So it had been used as offices. So it wasn't in a totally dilapidated state. There were offices and toilets and facilities and a good electricity supply and a good heating supply. So it became the best option.
And did you feel that there was support? Because obviously at that time, integrated education was largely new.
Very new.
Yeah. Did you find support from the community, or did you find some maybe resistance?
I have to tell you that in Omagh there was virtually no resistance, Alan. The support was there from day one. Within a few months of the steering group starting, we were sitting with 50 enrolment forms. 50 families who had decided that this was good for society, good for their families, good for their children, and that segregation was harmful and artificial. Segregation was artificial. Omagh, the community relations in Omagh was always good. Most clubs and associations and societies were mixed. The only thing that wasn't mixed were the churches and the schools.
And when you think about the last 30 years and your involvement in the Board of Governors, now what are the issues now for the Board of Governors compared to then? I'm sure they've changed dramatically, and I'm sure they're a lot more, maybe they're straightforward, maybe they're not.
Board of Governors is always looking ahead, always planning ahead, making sure that what is being offered to the students is what is appropriate. And as you'll be aware, there's a growing trend for young people to say, I wonder, is university where I really need to be going? Are there not better options? So the curriculum has to offer those extra options, and the staff are very conscious of that and are continually planning the next year.
Sean McBride, Chair of the Board of Governors at Drumragh Integrated. Sean, how does it feel to be Chair whenever the school is celebrating its 30th anniversary?
I think it's a significant milestone. I'm delighted to be the Chair and to be the custodian of integrated education, and to hopefully build on what those other brave people did to get it to where we are now.
And when you talk about the bravery that it took for teachers and the principal to move from what would have been permanent jobs and steady jobs in another school, it was some move by them, wasn't it?
If you look back at it, it was incredible courage to go from full-time permanent jobs in long-established schools and to go and chase a vision and a dream with parents in a school that basically didn't have a building. At that stage, they were, and our teachers continue to be the lifeblood of the school, and it was their determination and their steely determination, really, which allowed Drumragh to be established and grow.
Now, as Chair, what is your role as Chair of the Board of Governors?
So the governors in an integrated school are in a privileged position in that we oversee the day-to-day running of the school through our senior leadership team. We make all of the decisions with regard to the strategic direction that the school goes in. We do a lot of stuff around marketing. We manage the finances of the school. So we are in a very privileged position, and it's quite different to most other governors in terms of what we have to do, and we are the employing authority for the school. So it's a big undertaking.
And when you talk about looking at the strategic direction of the school, where would you see the school in the next 10, 20 years?
The school will continue to grow and develop its integrated ethos and develop what it does best, which is integration. Part of our job is to oversee and ensure that integration is weaved into everyday life in the school. So our school will continue to flourish. The numbers will continue to grow. The offering that we have will continue here on this lovely site.
Brenton McCall, first head boy. How did you become the first head boy?
That's one now. That all sparked from us having a vote, basically among all the students and teachers. There's certain candidates went forward, and basically that was it. In a nutshell, you were put through, and that was voted by everyone, which was pleasing at that time, but surreal, to be honest. If we look back at it now, maybe they weren't wise. Maybe I don't know. But yeah.
And how did you come to be at the integrated school rather than maybe a more traditional route at that time?
So I would have came here. My parents made the decision initially, I would say. It was their decision. They sort of supported me through it. Came here. My father was actually in the Board of Governors probably about the third or fourth year of the school. He was on it for a number of years then as well, so he was actively involved in sort of that integrated movement at that time. And that's just carried on for me then, with my kids coming here now. Another child due to come here, and say then in the Board of Governors as well. They were emailed to ask me to join.
Yeah, and was that a conscious decision whenever you had children of your own to send them here when they were making the move from primary school?
Yeah, it was one we actively looked at that time, and I say my wife's fully behind it too, and that was sort of the decision we made with their kids, and the kids have actually nominated they wanted to come here too, and that's just from attending open days. When my first daughter, she then said then this is where I want to go, and so my other daughter's coming through now, and that's her sort of pathway she wants to follow.
Mm-hmm. And the fact that you're on the Board of Governors, I suppose, maybe allows you to, I won't say influence, but have an input into the direction that the school takes.
It does. It gives us sort of better insight of what's actually happening and the strategic movements within the school. Lets you understand the budget and constraints too. There's obviously facing all in education at the minute with the constraints we all have, but it's good to see this school is actually thriving and developing on and being supported well by NICE and etc.
So I'm here with Imelda Kirk, Principal of Drumragh Integrated. School celebrating its 30th anniversary now, Imelda. You've been here for 28 of them.
Yes.
How much have you seen in terms of changes during those nearly 3 decades?
I think the ethos and values of the school, Alan, are very much the ethos and the values of the school, of the foundation governors, of the foundation steering group. Obviously, as a college, we have developed. We have grown. Our numbers have increased from the initial 85, from tentative early steps in the grounds of the TNF, a fabulous building, but it was never designed to be a school, to the grounds of our current site, a greenfield site, a beautiful building. We're here a number of years now. Indeed, I would suggest we've outgrown the college. We've outgrown the physical nature of this building, and DE have recognised that. We are looking forward to a new extension that will see further growth for us as a school and for integrated education in Omagh.
And in terms of that, obviously, what would be your vision then for the future of the school over the next, say, decade?
Over the next decade, we look forward to continued growth. We want parental choice in Omagh and beyond, and that was very much the vision of the Foundation Steering Group, to have the choice of integrated education for young people of today. We are a growing college. We are making curricular changes at Key Stage 4 and Key Stage 5. Indeed, very much in line with the whole vision of Transform Ed and the curricular reform that is coming from Northern Ireland. We are embracing that. We want to give parental choice, but we want to ensure that our young people are prepared for the challenges and the opportunities that Northern Ireland presents over the next 10 years. And we are endeavouring to ensure our curriculum and our extracurricular opportunities afford young people every opportunity here in the college.
So the growth that has taken place, I suppose, especially in this last maybe 2 decades, what would you attribute that to?
We pride ourselves on being an all-ability, all-inclusive school. We are child-centred, so we seek to ensure success for every young person, regardless of where they are at academically, but in the broader holistic sense. And I think staff do their absolute utmost to ensure success for each and every child. Our motto, excellence for everyone, we live that every day. And our outcomes at the end of each academic year, when we look to our statistics and we look to our student attainment, we see the person behind the grade. And that's what this college is very much about.
And in terms of extracurricular activities, now I know horse jumping is very important, but there is that wider range in terms of what children can do outside of the school, normal school hours.
Indeed, that's very much. Our college does not end at 3:05. 5:30 is a more accurate assessment of what our college day might be like. 5:30 is a more accurate assessment of what our college day might be like. And as you've said, we have an extensive array of extracurricular activities. Show jumping does feature. We're tentatively asked on occasion, and where do you keep the horses? A little bit of a jest, a little bit of a joke. But yes, show jumping. As an integrated college, we pride ourselves on offering the full gamut of sporting activities. We have everything. We participate in rugby, we participate in Gaelic, we participate in soccer. Not just for our boys, but also for our girls. As I've said, we are an all-inclusive school. And we have a very strong, proactive student council in the college. And when our young people come forward with their powerful voices to say, we would like to participate in this, we would like to venture into this, we always have staff who are willing to give it their time to step forward and to see, is there an interest? Is this something that we can offer? And we do our best to facilitate those needs of our young people.
Do you enjoy it?
I don't think that you can be in education in today's modern society if you didn't enjoy it. I do enjoy, I've been here 28 years, I enjoy being an educator, I enjoy working with young people, and it is a privilege to be the principal of this school.